The endangered species essay is both sad and enjoyable and hopeful. It is a favorite assignment for most students. Now, at this point, you've already selected and locked your topic. If you haven't, then you want to go back to the Start Here menu, to the tab that allows you to lock your subjects. Open that, look at the long list, and select the animal that you like best. Then go over to the discussion board and click to make sure nobody else has already locked that topic. If they haven't, go ahead and lock your topic, and then you're ready to go. At this point, hopefully you've done some preliminary research where you've found out some information about your animal, your species, and you have fallen in love with your species. Now, let's look at what we're going to do next now that we've got our animal all selected. Now remember, for this essay, the tone is hopeful. I know you say, my goodness, I'm talking about a species that may cease to exist. How can I be positive? Well, you can. Remember that people are most easily persuaded by positive rhetoric that makes them believe they can benefit from accepting your position, or, as we already know from other readings, your bias. You are biased on behalf of this animal. You want to show us the population and how if we help, it's not a lost cause. We can affect these kinds of change because that's what you are doing. This essay does not include the words we, you, us, our, they. It only includes your words. What are you going to do? What are you inspired to do to help this animal? So that's how we do that. We have one paragraph that shows the problem, and that paragraph, true, is going to have some darker language because it is a dark problem. If there wasn't a problem, the reader would just say, well, okay, I don't think I need to do anything here. It's a lost cause. So even though the facts about this animal and the condition of the animal is a bit dark in subject matter, there always needs to be some air of solution that is possible. We stick to absolute facts and we don't use horrific words. We certainly don't include horrific images. We can include charts and graphs because those are not going to terrify the reader. And we want to maintain our note of positivity. So that's something we can do. And as you look over these instructions, you can see how to do that. You can see this breakdown. 4 sentences about the problem, all of which are documented. Make sure you don't just throw in something. You need to show a citation for where you got that information. And the 5th sentence translates to the solution options that you will be reporting on. You're going to look for 3 solution options. One of them that you will research is a scam. The second one is okay, it's not a scam, but it's just not effective. The third solution entity that you investigate does look like a good idea, and you're going to explain why you support that particular project to affect a positive change in the longevity of your species. These are the requirements for this one long PDF that you submit. The one long PDF will include a title page, norm, name, course, date, word count, upper left-hand corner, a snappy title, and under that, the title image. 4 to 6, there's no maximum, but 4 to 6 additional images, including maps, charts, graphs, images using positive tone rubric. No logos. You will be docked 10% off the entire essay if you have anything that looks like a logo. Also, no cartoons. Let's take a moment and look at a couple of title images. I'm just going to pause right here and I'll come back to the interview. So stay with me. Let's look at this title image and the importance of that. This is a pretty image, but we could not use this image. Can you tell me why? That's right, because it has an iStock watermark. We don't want any images that include watermarks. This one is kind of lovely, but do you see where we'd want to crop out some of this extra sky and crop over here? Probably keep this green in there because that's nice. Probably just crop this over right here. And then we have a lovely title image of a mother protecting her babies. This would be a horrible image. Why? Because it's not a real duck. At the conclusion of the essay, we will include a final image that shows people helping our locked down animal species. Look at that picture. Isn't that a great way to conclude the essay? When you, as the writer, indicate how you feel about this project and what you could do to help, I'm going to be inspired both by your words and by this image that you have selected that shows people clearly helping this little species. I've come back to the instructions. Next item is the phone call interview. I know, it seems impossible. So one of the things I put here is forget calling World Wildlife Federation. They will not answer the phone. I've dealt with those people for years. So we want to think clever and outside the box. Let's say that the ducks that I want to save are being nurtured by a particular zoo. Maybe it's a small zoo, but it's making a huge stride and effort to create a habitat for these little ducks. They will probably answer the phone. People in a small zoo will most likely answer a phone. If not, then I find out who is sponsoring that zoo effort. What's the name of that entity? And I can call them. I had a student one time had the Tasmanian devils. Man, oh man, they are only in one place in the world, and it's a remote, way the heck out there island. So the student emailed the research team. The research team, this is kind of before cell phones made it easier, but the research team set up a call with my student, and they gave them some time to talk about Hope for the Tasmanian Devil, what they were doing. I mean, it was really a neat experience for that student. So you want to think outside the box. If you need my help, email me or come to office hours, and I'll try to strategize with you about who we might call. But remember, zoo organizations are always good. School organizations are good too sometimes because those people will sometimes answer the phone. We just got to think who will actually talk to you on the phone. Now, as we said, we're going to look at 3 possible solutions. 2 are likely scams or completely ineffective, and the third one is your favorite pick. I'm going to show you the outline in a second. And finally, a compelling conclusion with only first-person statements or factual statements. Only first person. Never in this entire essay does the writer include the words you, we all, it's up to us, our, they, them. Make sure this is an essay about you and what you intend to do. Now, let's go over this outline because I want to make sure you understand that even though an outline is not required, I want you to follow this outline and it will guarantee that you have a lovely essay. So here's the first is the introduction. I've broken it down 1 sentence at a time. Now, the thesis statement is included in the introduction and it's right before the transition sentence. I've given you an example here. My best suggestion is if you're having a great deal of trouble with this, come see me during office hours or email me what you have come up with only for your thesis statement. You've watched the tutorials on how to write a thesis statement, which are included in the study materials, and you've come up with what you think might be a good thesis statement, and you want to run that by me. You can do that. You can email me just that one statement. That would not qualify as me giving you an extra grade read for your entire essay. But this is really important. We're going to underline that so I can find it. Next is your transition sentence, which is going to be where you write a sentence that leads us into the next section, which includes facts about your animal. And I've given you the breakdown of exactly what's included in that. After that paragraph or two, it's time to write your solutions. You're going to start with solution number 1, which is clearly a scam. But you have to prove to me that it's a scam. And you prove that to me by setting up a research method. First research method would be you would tell me the name of this organization. Number 2, you would tell me what that organization claims to be doing. And number 3, you would show me proof, evidence, including a citation that proves that this is not an effective or it is a scam operation. That's the research formula. You see that? You make a claim. Here's the name of this place. Number 2, what is it that they propose to do? What is it that they say they're going to do? And number 3, you present documented evidence that shows that that is not what they are up to. That is solution number 1, and we just follow this list. This list translates into words. You won't include Roman numeral 3, you will not include A1, you won't include that, but this is a guide to show you exactly how to organize the content within your paragraphs. Stick to this and you'll have a good solution to your writing needs. Now, the next section, which may be 1 or 2 paragraphs, it depends, is solution number 2. This one either doesn't work, it's debunked, they tried it, it didn't work, or whatever process, and you're going to use that same exact research process that you used up here. Next, we have solution number 3, the one you like. And this is the one that's going to include the phone interview. And remember that since this one is our crowning glory, this is the one that we support, the remainder of the essay, prior to the conclusion, is devoted to this solution. So you're going to want to add a paragraph that explains the work that this solution has accomplished, about 5 to 7 sentences. Make sure you document anything that's copied and pasted. Make sure you document and show exactly where you found that information. Next, you could include a graph showing before and after statistics for this solution, or pictures before and after. This is what let's say we're going to support a zoo project, and we have a picture of what that part of the zoo looked like before this little idea that they have, and then we have a picture of what it looks like after. And the after picture shows that they're making some progress. They could use some help, but they're using some progress. So that's what I mean about this second part, where you include graphs and charts that show how they are effective. So in these 5 to 7 sentence paragraphs, which it looks like there's about 3, who are they? What are they doing? And the third paragraph would be, why do you believe in them? Why is this the solution that you think is best? Not we, you, us, our, they, them. You personally. Why do you think this solution is going to help your species survive? And that's this little section that is devoted to the solution that you like best. And you can see that the solution for this one is broken down into probably 3 paragraphs, don't you think? About 5 to 7 sentences, tell me who they are. 5 to 7 sentences showing me before they took over and after they took over and where they're going and what their goals are and so forth. And then a third 5 to 7 sentence paragraph about why you are personally impressed with this solution. Now we come down to the conclusion. People sometimes have problems with the conclusion, don't they? I know I do sometimes. I think, oh my goodness. So that is why when I plan my essay, I plan the conclusion all the way through. So when I find a little website or something that has facts, I save one of those facts for the conclusion. I copy it, I paste it down there in my conclusion outline, and there it is ready to go. Of course, I include the citation. Where did that fact come from? And then I have that there. Also, when I think about why I'm impressed with the solution that I found, I write it out in a paragraph. I just sit down with a notepad and I just start writing. Why am I impressed with this particular solution? And I take some of that and I save it for the conclusion. So the conclusion is 1 paragraph and 1 paragraph only. 5, 7 sentences, 8 at the most. Okay, so this is what we're going to do this. The first sentence states the problem in a positive but compelling way. The second sentence, and 2 sentences, describe the 2 solutions that were either scams or ineffective. That's 1 or 2 sentences. Next, 1 or 2 sentences that sing the praises of your chosen solution. One of those sentences needs to include your phone interview. So when you wrote down what happened in your phone interview, you saved a sentence or so. You saved something wonderful that they said, and you went ahead and added that to your conclusion. So it's already there when you get to writing the conclusion. It always gives me a wonderful feeling of power when I get to the conclusion and it's already written. And then finally, we have 1 or 2 sentences that indicate the actions that you individually intend to take. Maybe it's a social media campaign. Maybe you are going to make phone calls, or you're going to spread the word somehow, or you're going to organize a community resource team to help support that cause. None of it has to be real. I mean, some of this can be what you would like to do. So we're not holding you to the solutions that you'd like to participate in, because it's all a persuasive essay. And this is one of the sections of that. And then also you can give a website where they can find that. You know, there's a neater way to do this, where you put in a picture and you say, click on this picture, and then you have the picture link to this. I don't like live URLs and essays. It looks tacky. And if you want to do that, you can. But the important thing is to include it. You won't be deducted if you just include the URL. But there's a fun, clever way to do that. And then wrap up this well-crafted, inspiring statement with a picture of people helping this animal. Now, doing all this research situation, I have been setting up my EasyBib citation list, and you've seen that in the how to create an EasyBib project. You've already done some of those for assignments. So I have my list here. Now, you all will probably have more citations than this. You can just check the assignment for the number of citations that are required, but you want to have enough. You need to prove these facts. You can't just prove these facts from a Quora question. Those aren't documented facts. You have to find some facts. So Now I'm all through and this is all ready to go. And I'm going to export all. And I have a choice. I can export them as Word or Google Docs. I'm going to use Word. I click export. And you see where that download saved right up here. I open that up. I enable editing. And let's check it real carefully. You'll notice that some of my citations include authors, and a few of them are site contributors. I have a national reporting site because that's always a nice thing to have, like national statistics. And then I have the statistics from my preferred source. And that's how you do that with all the sources that you have. Yours will be different than mine. Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it into my document, remembering that sometimes when I paste it into another document, it might go klaflooey. Let's look at that. Let's say this is all my essay up here, and I've come in here and I'm going to paste in the document. But let's say it goes all klafooey. It goes like that. You see that? Somehow when it transferred in, it went all icky. Maybe it went like that. Maybe it went like this. That's wrong. That's wrong. You see what it might do? So we want to make sure that it's always over here in normal. And somehow that got messed up. So we want to make sure that that is centered. But look, it's not in Times New Roman 12 space. I know it takes time to check these things out. See, it went over to Calibri. So we have to do this and go over here, do Times New Roman. There we go. See, that can happen sometimes. So there we go. Isn't that nice? And that concludes this overview and step-by-step instructional review for the Endangered Species Essay Assignment.